44 car driven by Jack Sellers, one of those competitors from the Winston West division. And so the first full course yellow comes out. They will get the wrecker onto the racetrack and remove the car. And guys, are we going to see pit stops here in the early going?
Oh, no. No one's going to give up that track position this early.
No, unless you're at the back of the field. Now, some of the guys back at the back might come in now, but those up front, they don't want to give up that track position, as Ben said.
Ricky Rudd leading the other. Let's go down to the pit area and get a report on Jack Sellers.
Well, Bob, on the first lap, and then when you're having a bad day, it gets even worse. The jack broke and the car fell off the jack, and Sellers said, hey, what the heck, I'll go out and run it anyway. If it's going to blow, it's going to blow. Well, apparently, he didn't make it very far.
He did not. The car is against the tire barrier, and that's around turn number 9. So the full course yellow out for the number 44 car driven by Jack Sellers.
The Express came into existence.
Well, I guess just to move mail from one portion of the country to the other. To keep Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, and Bill Elliott. 6 through 10, Rusty Wallace, Ken Schrader, Tommy Kendall, Kyle Petty, and Terry Labonte. And then 11 through 15, Morgan Shepherd, Darrell Waltrip, Davey Allison, Dale Jarrett, and Rick Wilson.
He tries out break Ernie going into turn 11. That's one place that you can pass, but also you can get in there too hard and really get in trouble.
And here it is. Oh, they touch. Urban out of shape for a moment. Earnhardt's going to try to go to the outside. He's not going to be able to take this spot right now, but he might as they come off the corner. Urban is sideways, going to the inside of the track, and Dale Earnhardt has second.
Yeah, Ernie was down on the inside of the track, couldn't get traction down there. Earnhardt took advantage of it. Here's car number 34 in the tires. That is Ted Kennedy.
Ted Kennedy in car number 34 has crashed.
And full course caution is out once again. Here is Ernie Irvan passing Dale Earnhardt back again.
And they will race back to the caution. Now Earnhardt's going to try to get the position back, but he'll back off, at least going through corner number 4. Let's take a look at the reason for this second full course caution. It involves number 34. Here he is moving off turn number 10. Just got the car off the racetrack.
Yep, got out in the grass, lost his traction, spun it down on the inside against the tire barrier. You can see the tires coming loose.
Again, that is Ted Kennedy from Fresno, California, a Winston West competitor. So lots of action here in the first 9 laps of the Banquet Frozen Foods 300.
It was about 10 or 12 feet in the air when this car got off the road course. So apparently he got airborne a little bit in the car, and they went to him and tried to get him out of the car, and they couldn't get him out of the car from it. I don't blame him. I wouldn't get out either. I wouldn't wait till that thing lands before he climbs out of the car, but apparently he is okay, and but had a tough day here on the road course.
Yeah, he is running back to the pit area, so Rob is okay, and a large amount of smoke coming from Richard Petty's car, and he's got some tire rub.
Well, he has a broken rear sway bar is what's wrong. Oh, you see the rear housing going back and forth, and we see it dragging on the ground just underneath the right rear. That's the rear sway bar dragging the ground, which keeps the rear housing located in the center of the car.
So there is the STP Pontiac with some serious trouble, and you can win a Pontiac Grand Prix if you know who is leading at the halfway point of this event, and the people at the Right Guard Halfway Challenge call you back. Now, here's how you register. All you have to do is get the telephone and dial a certain number while we watch Ernie Irvan make a pit stop. So the leader has come in for a pit stop. Dial 1-900-246-0101. It'll cost you 95 cents to register. But again, if they call you back and you know who's leading at the halfway point, you will win a Pontiac Grand Prix. Ernie Irvan moves back out onto the racetrack. And let's go to Jerry Punch, who's with Waddell Wilson.
Waddell, you opted to change 2 instead of 4. Why?
Well, the reason is we didn't need a full tank of gas. If we'd had to put in 21 gallons of fuel, then we'd have changed 4. We needed very little gas, so we needed the time on the track, plus we have to make another stop also.
So a lot of concern here. They're going to have to make one more stop because of the gas mileage here on this tough road course.
Well, that's a little bit of an... Oh, Tom Kendall with a lot of damage on the right front of that car. That's a tough break for Tommy, who was running so well. It happened in corner number 4, and he's leaving debris all over the racetrack.
Boy, he sure is. He'll be lucky to get that car back to the...
Boy, oh, there's another car. Looks like Chad Little is off the pace right in front of.
I'm looking for a full course caution. Chad Little goes right down the drag strip, so he is not on the racetrack.
But Kendall didn't do that. He's
trying to make it back to the pit area by
I don't think Kendall knows how much damage is to the right front of that automobile.
Man.
Car owned by Mark Reno. Had an awfully good run.
There's Chad. Oh, you can see the damage on Little's car.
Yes.
So evidently those two cars got together somewhere along the way and did major damage on both. But there's no caution because Chad Little is not on the racetrack. He's on the drag strip. So out of harm's way.
His car is still able to move.
Well, he thought about
the sponsor out here.
He thought about it. It looks like, oh, Earnhardt is back on the speedway. They've changed the transmission, and Earnhardt, oh, and look, all the gas coming out of the back of that car. Man, how would you like to be following him, Ned? He's really putting down some moisture on the speedway.
Dale Earnhardt was in the pits for a long time changing the transmission. Here's a look now at the incident. Here comes Tom Kendall, and boom.
Yeah, I think the 19 car of Chad Little had spun, and then Kendall ran into it once he came around that curve. He didn't see it. That's a blind curve.
Had no place to go, and there was Chad Little right in the middle of the racetrack.
Some people say these guys aren't athletes.
Mark Martin doing battle with Ernie Irvan. And the 98 car of Butch Miller is in the tires.
I'd say he's sitting right on top of him.
Yeah, that thing's not going to pull itself out of there.
Well, you can see his sponsor is lucky, and he certainly hasn't had a lucky afternoon today, as Butch Miller is atop the tires, and we look for but do not see a full course caution at the moment. The battle is for 4th position between Ernie Irvan at number 4 and Mark Martin at number 6. Boy, you've got to be really patient at this point on the race, I would guess, because you've got relatively few laps to go, but yet a lot of traffic to move through.
You got to be aggressively patient because you know, the chips are down now. They can go the rest of the way. You can't depend on pit stop, somebody stopping in front of you or something like that. You got to earn what you get out there now.
Here comes Rudd on the outside of Bodine. Remember this last year when Rudd was on the inside of Rusty Wallace. Is he going to be able to make the move?
Yes, he did. Ricky Rudd goes to 2nd position. Don't count him out. A big spin down in corner number 7. Whoa, lots of cars off the course, including Ernie Irvan and Alan Kowicki. The finger of fate has struck Alan Kowicki once again, and the number 18 car of Stan Barrett is also off course, but he gets going again.
Man, I tell you, I can't believe the luck that Alan Kowicki has at this race course.
Unbelievable. There's somebody else you don't think of as a road racer, but he has been up there in the top 10, 15 all afternoon, and now he's in the top 5. Here's a replay of this melee down in turn 7.
Boy, there were a lot of them. Hut Strickland's involved. He had to just stop to keep from running over somebody. Ernie Irvan just made him a lap out there in the grass and came back on around.
Bobby Hillen was also involved. The 44 car, that's Sellers, Jack Sellers, also off course momentarily. That's the 2nd time this afternoon he has been off course.
Here comes Rusty on the inside of Hillen. On the outside, I guess it is, trying to get by, and he makes the move. Morgan has to be careful because he is the Winston Cup point leader. If he falls out of the race now or should get off the course, he's going to finish the last. Now here he goes on the outside up in turn 7.
But on the other hand, you battle for any position you can get because each position just gives you that many more points, and who knows, it could be enough to either win or lose the championship. 33 car of Harry Gant is off course with the nose in the tires. He's trying to back it up, but it doesn't seem to be doing very much.
Looks like he's hung there.
Will this bring out a full course caution?
I doubt if NASCAR will throw the caution flag at this late stage of the race, but we'll see.
We'll only have 4 more laps to go when they come by. Harry Gant was running in 15th position when the car went into the tire wall. Still watching this battle for 4th. Bodine, Shepard. There's Mark Martin, who may emerge as the new points leader in Winston Cup competition. We'll have to calculate that, but Morgan Shepard is behind the wall, and of course Dale Earnhardt spent many, many laps behind the wall repairing a transmission.
And there's trouble down in turn 11. Davey Allison and the Terry Labonte car are nose to nose.
I believe that could be, is that Labonte or, yeah, that is Labonte.
Yeah, Davey Allison spun, and Terry came into the turn, just couldn't get stopped and hit Davey. Now they both get going, or at least Davey's getting going. The car number 1 and Terry
the middle of things. Here it is once again.
Davey Allison just loses control going in.
Oh, a full course caution. This may mean the race will end under caution. And there's a contact between Terry Labonte and Davey Allison. Rusty Wallace is headed toward the yellow flag because of Terry Labonte's stopped car in corner number 11. We could see this race end under caution.
And boy, will we see some scrambling when they get down there to that car sitting there in the groove in turn 11. That's a tough enough track when it's clear. Of course, most of the spotters have told their drivers that's where the trouble is, so be careful when you get there.
Rusty picking his way through. Mark Martin.
Here he comes.
Right up on the back bumper of him.
Yellow flag is showing. Mark is trying to win the race to the line because that could be the end of the race right there. The white and the yellow flag comes out simultaneously. This race will end under caution, and Rusty Wallace will win it.